Well, hello and welcome to Sports by Compion. My name, of course, is Stephen Compion, and we're hosting another edition of Midwest Rugby. Carfu, it's happening. We got a very special guest from Peoria. But before we get to that, our ever present for these type of shows co-host, the ginger himself, the beard, the power. George McCaddy's in the house. How are you, George?
Good, mate. Good. You?
Oh, just living the dream. It's fantastic to see you out here. Excellent. And of course, our special guest, returning guest from last year, friend of the show, Mr. Preston Butner is back. How are you, sir?
Good, boys. How we doing?
Oh, just living the dream, man. We appreciate you coming back on to talk some rugby, talk some Peoria rugby, all that kind of good stuff.
Heck yeah.
So we'll hop right into it. Let's talk a little bit about Ravens Peoria. You know, it was going into what were you guys like 2-1 at the time or something like that? Had pulled off a really nice win earlier in the year.
Yeah, we just came off the Silverbacks, and we had a tough game against them, and I'm like, hey guys, even with one loss, we got to come out ready to fight, and we show up to Rockford with 16 guys, and we had to sub some guys that maybe get a little time at the end of the matches, stuff like that, and I think we had like I don't know like 4 or 5 guys that are usually finishers for us. That were starting that week. So it was the first time playing a full 80 for a lot of them. And, it was a close match and a few errors and a couple of big plays by you guys. And, obviously it came down to the last few minutes, but, it's always like that between us.
Hell of a game, mate. Hell of a game.
Hell of a game, dude. I mean, it's insane you guys came up with
Yeah.
16 guys and put up that much of a fight. Like there was times where it seemed like we were gonna maybe run away with it a little bit, only for Ryan to just rip through the line a couple times and bring it right back nice close again. You know, shout out to Ryan, just an absolute stud. Maybe the best 12 we've gone against all year, and we've gone against the Riot now. I still say he's the hardest guy to tackle we've gone against this year, probably. And dude, shout out Josh too. Just played an absolute fantastic game back there at fullback. The combination of those two is absolutely deadly. You guys are always got a couple new guys in the pack, but shout out a couple of the dudes. Boris was all over the field. Big day out of the Peoria Pigs who did come up, man. It's crazy. You guys took us down to the wire with 16 players.
It was a tough
Yeah,
fucking game.
I mean, this is obviously my opinion, but I feel like in our division, if our backline's 100% and we're all there, I have a feeling that we're the best backline in Carfu. I mean, we
I
Yeah.
have
got
a hard time
Ryan,
disputing that.
Josh. We got this other rookie. His name's Joe Carmine. He was an old football guy that is friends with my brother, and he came out. And then I just think if we come out and we're playing our best rugby, we'd be really hard to beat in the backline for sure.
I
Yeah.
agree. That's hard to dispute, man. You guys are absolutely deadly. Ryan's been tearing us apart for a couple years now. I think going back to even before, like I really knew much about the Peoria. Didn't know you that well. I always think I have some memories of Ryan running through our defense. So he's been doing it for a while. But talk about some of the other rookies. So you mentioned Joe to replace the old Joe who retired from you guys, right? A really talented. What was he playing, 9 or 10 for you?
Yeah, so Joseph was our 9, and so he moved out to Arizona for work, and
Okay.
I knew this Joe kid through my brother and through mutual family connections and stuff, and he's always just been a great addition to the club. So I talked to him a little bit, and he was all about it. Came out and played, and he real tough, great tackler, and I'm really good with support as well. And then we got Boris, aka Boris the Animal,
Love it.
and he's been a staple for us, in the pack. He runs hard, he rucks, tackler. He is poaching the world out there, and
Yeah.
no, he's doing a great job for us right now as well. We have another kid. His name's Jaden Jones. He plays lock and plays a little bit of a flanker for us. I coached him when he was 12 years old, and he ran into me at a social when one of his buddies was playing for one of the Springfield teams in that area for the St. Louis League. And he's like, Preston, do you remember me? I was like, no, buddy. Like, what's your name? He's like, you coached me when we were in Princeville. I'm like, Jaden? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you're not so little anymore. You got a whole grown ass man goatee and stuff now. And he came to Horfest this year with me, and he's
Oh
been in
yeah,
love with the
Jaden.
game
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Yeah,
Dude,
and he's been
Jaden's a fucking solid ass motherfucker.
yeah.
Dude.
I mean, I remember obviously Sydney's always a hard load to tackle, and I remember him just coming across. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'll hit him. And then is hitting Sydney out there, like, just not afraid. And those are the kind of guys that you definitely want on the pitch with you.
That's how you build a club, absolutely.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, George?
First passage of play, like we kicked off to you, he caught the ball, and it was right at the beginning of kickoff, and he's like, I'm gonna run over George. And I was like, why the fuck? Why run at me? Directly at me? Like, run at one of the small fuckers, not me.
Not to mention, like later on in the game, we were trying to recover a kickoff that the ball was kind of just bouncing around, and man, I just ran directly to his shoulder, and I may or may not have gotten slightly CT'd up from that. So shout out Jaden for having a solid ass shoulder.
Okay, and I went back.
Dude,
and I went
the
back
guy
and checked
didn't
the rules.
budge. Like
I went back and checked. Hey, comp, you can come back in. Only front rowers can come back in.
What? That's not true.
I literally looked it up.
Well, that's also on whoever that ref was. We're not gonna call it his name because he's a good guy. But we definitely asked before we did the subs to be sure. So
I know. And then so John subbed in, and I was like, sir, you can't sub. He was a second rower, and you can't put a front rower in for a front rower. He has to play a second row position.
Well, he did play flanker, which is why I think Ryan quickly scored 2 tries while he was off the field.
No, John went to hook.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, we probably moved somebody out to flanker. Either way. Listen, Preston, all these looking up the rules and shit. Like,
I love it.
that is fair though. And we did ask the guy before we did it, and honestly, I was against it, but Frank was slightly worried. I guess I did run into his shoulder pretty hard, and then right back into the ground. And yeah, Jaden did not move. He just,
I know.
Dude didn't move an inch.
Well, and your trainer's got to clear you to go back in. It's not just a coach says go back in, because there's this thing called second impact syndrome. Okay.
But we're dealing with Paul here, Preston. Okay, so.
Also, that's on the trainer. Whoever that's not the trainer, because I did pass the test earlier in that game.
Paul probably slipped him a 20 and said, "Get him back in there."
No, I actually had to yell at Paul a lot to get back into that game. It was after like the second try. I was like, "Paul, put me back in this game," and he finally complied, which was nice.
Quick question for you, Preston: if you're a child and Steven's your child, does that mean Steven's my child?
One more time. So Steven's my child. What?
And you're my child. So Steven definitely is my grandchild.
Yeah.
It's not correct, dude. Okay, you guys have both met my dad. He's a very nice man, and not Preston, as you guys.
I have pictures of it, Steven, of you at birth.
You have a Photoshop picture that makes no sense, and that is your only evidence.
George, did that look Photoshop to you, buddy?
Yes, yes, sir. Just put my beard on Steven, and we would look very similar. Okay.
I don't know if that's true either. All right, we gotta get focused back on task here, guys. Speaking to kind of the friendship we've had with the Peoria Pigs over the last couple of years, a whole bunch of you guys camped out. We all went out on the town and got to know Rockford pretty well. I'd say, pretty successful evening out there, right, Preston?
Oh yeah, I always love coming down and seeing you guys.
Oh, he cut off. He's because he's getting home, so he's probably switching Wi-Fi's there. Speaking of which, Georgia, how do you feel about Wi-Fi? Do you think it's some type of government ploy to keep an eye on you in particular? Oh, there you are, Preston. Sorry, we lost you when you were coming back.
I just pulled in, but no, any chance I have to come out to the Lyron Park and hang out, it's definitely something I'm going to do, and I really encourage other teams to come out and do that as well.
For sure. Yeah. So what's your say on the whole landscape of the car food division right now? I can't say I have the standings in front of me or have looked at them recently because we're kind of out of it, so I don't really care anymore. But what do you think of it all? What has been your assessment? Last game in the books coming up. So
I mean, right now it's anybody's league. I mean, this is probably the most shuffling I've seen in a long time with Carfu because, previous years it was, us and the Riot or, the Riot, us and, St. Charles and or Fox Valley. And so there's this year, right now you guys are in contention, Lake County's in contention, and the Woodsmen are all in contention. So, I mean, it's just one game here, one game there away from, it being anybody's league right now.
Silverbacks are technically in contention too, right?
Yeah, but fuck the Silverbacks.
Fuck the
I
Silverbacks,
don't
dude.
think so.
They're
No.
ahead of us in
I think they're ahead of us, so which would mean they do have a chance.
I didn't think so. I think if we beat the Woodsmen and they don't score 4 tries, I think you guys are in.
Hell yeah. Do us a favor, Preston.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, we've got an absolute lineup this weekend. This is probably the best
Let's
lineup we've had
go.
all year.
Let's go.
Goodness.
Oh, we still got to take care of business ourselves, George, so we can't get too excited. But
Who do you guys play?
we got the Silverbacks at the Silverbacks.
Yeah.
So they do a good job with offloads and such. I didn't think anything was overly crazy as far as what they do. Their 9's pretty tough. So, I mean, just you can definitely play your game, not make silly turnovers, dominate in the pack, just play good pod ball. I think you'll be all right.
Cool. So you guys got one more practice tomorrow, or how you doing it?
Yep, we got one more practice tomorrow. It's getting dark, so I mean, we're out to practice Tuesday by like 6:45, 7 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah, we're about the same, pretty much. Yeah. Season's finally a wrap. It was a hell of a rugby year, huh?
It's never ending. It's March to November rugby.
For real, man. Are you? It really just goes and goes. So it's and then you got the summer tournaments if you want to get involved with those. It is kind of year round, this whole rugby thing.
I know my local buddies go like, Preston, when are we gonna see you? I'm like, dude, whenever season's over, they go, that's all year. I was like, you got me in the winter times.
Yeah.
Off run.
That's why you gotta be like Taylor and just invite all your local friends to just come to the rugby events and then they become rugby adjacent. We have so many rugby adjacents to the Ravens from just Taylor just bringing his friends.
Like I try that, but they just don't show up.
Oh, it's too bad.
Like I'm like, guys, all you have to do is just hang out one time and you'll be in love with the club.
So, Preston, do you guys do voting for Rookie of the Year / MVP, all these type of things?
Yeah, so we do that on our AGM, which will be the first week of December. And then we do our kangaroo court to follow.
Kangaroo court to follow. Good time. So Obviously these votes also have to take place, but you as someone who's been here, seen it, captain, who do you think are the front runners for Rookie of the Year? We'll go through that one first. You want to go through that? If you don't have to, if you don't like to, want to speculate.
I mean, there's 2 guys in my mind that stick out. Boris and Jaden have definitely been playing really good rugby. They've been there at every practice. They haven't. I think Jaden missed 1 game to go to something down in Carbondale, and I'm like, why, dude? It's rugby season.
Seriously.
But no, I think those 2 are definitely the front runners in my mind, just from consistency, being there, traveling, playing hard rugby, and just being good additions to the club. And that's really kind of what I'm trying to build because, like, I've said this 1,000 times, like the way that you guys are with each other, like the friendships that you guys have through the whole club is just something that like I'm trying to build over here. And obviously it doesn't happen overnight,
No.
And we, so far so good. The guys that are there that are committed, they're definitely some guys that, you can count on for everything. If you need 2 o'clock in the morning, you need picked up from the bar, like they're, willing to help you out or whatever, they're just good foundation type guys for the club.
Love that. Love that.
happened with the Ravens because we're usually drinking together, so we just have to Uber our asses home.
Well, luckily within Rockford, it's all very cheap, close rides, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But
Um,
your boys are, that foundation that you have is very good, and it's all about. For us, we lose players in the off seasons, so we've got to keep things interesting throughout their holiday times. Whether it's a fucking bowling league or because not many people drink nowadays. It's really weird.
Yeah, a lot of the younger generations don't drink, which I don't think is that weird, but yeah, they're not down for it, which is kind of a part of the rugby culture. So it's kind of interesting trying to break them in, and they're really not about it.
I mean, but the millennials, that's what we do. We do it best.
We do some good jerky. We're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
They're kind of weird millennials, man.
Yeah, a bunch of weirdos. Anyway, so what would you say are some of the things you might be doing over the off season to kind of retain the boys, keep them together?
Yeah, so we've got the next couple things we have is we always do a Thanksgiving breakfast together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we go out to one of the guys' houses and we always bring something and we'll hang out and drink, and then usually around 9 or 10 o'clock we'll kind of disperse and go do our family stuff. But that's been a tradition for as long as I can remember.
That's a really cool tradition.
And then we've got the AGM. Then we have the awards banquet. And I think that's it. But like, I do have some things that I'm kind of putting a list together to I kind of have it in my notes as like keys to success.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's coming down to, the first one's bring a friend. Like we can recruit from, Bradley or our local community college or find people at the bar. But like, if you go to Bradley, how long are those guys going to stick around? They might be there for a season, less than that, then they're gone.
Yeah.
The same goes for ICC. But if you bring a buddy, if like you'd say you played high school sports or you met a guy at the gym or something along those lines, bring one friend. If everybody brings one friend, we go from, let's say 12 guys at practice to 24 guys at practice.
Yeah.
And if I looked at one of the starting lineups, and in the last year and a half, I've brought on 7 or 8 guys. And
Nice.
I was like, guys, like I'm trying. I'm wearing the Pigs merch. I'm telling everybody to come do it. Like it's almost like you're being a pest or annoying about it, but you have to be.
You have to be.
Yeah.
It really is the only way. No, word of mouth is 100% how we've done most of our recruitment too. Those are the guys that actually stick around and such.
It's actually, we've had people that have come out before and they go, rugby's not my thing, but I love the culture. Is there any way I can be part of the club without putting myself at, I guess, physical injury risk?
Right.
And I told them, you pay social dues, you can come to the games, come to the socials for home games, stuff like that, travel if you want to, and just support the club that way, because that does mean a lot.
It does. We've gained a couple social members, and it's been really awesome.
Yeah, they don't pay dues though, so.
But they bring beer, George, that you drank. So.
But no,
that is important to be able to find like just a community of people willing to support the club in general. It really makes a big difference. We had a lot of home crowd people coming to our games, and it makes it way more fun to play.
Yeah, I agree.
So the big award. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, George.
This sport, it's by the end of playing. What is it? This weekend it'll be 7 games week to week. It's attritional warfare as well. We're quite lucky we haven't had any serious injuries. We've had a couple, I'm going to sit out this week sort of injuries, but, you lose, if you lose 3 players, you lose a decent percentage of your squad, and it's kind of hard. That D3 level is you're always just fighting for numbers, especially in Peoria where all your away games are fucking hours away.
That's having the biggest problem.
Yeah, it's a fucking commitment, It's like a 5-hour round trip to come to us and back.
Then we're not even like the furthest, right? Or are we the furthest?
No, Lake County's the furthest.
Huh.
They're 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. But
Damn.
usually, like, if we play, like, the Riot, it's 2.5. If we play the Reapers, it's 2.5. I mean, everything's about 2.5 to 3.
Ouch.
But, like, we do it all the time. So it's not like this is anything new. And, like, we tell the guys, like, hey, we're going to carpool. If we really like the group, we'll stay. So, like, Lake County, you guys, like, Reapers, are some of, like, our really, really close friends, I would assume. And, like, we're trying to grow with other clubs. Like, a bunch of the Riot guys stay down, and they were awesome to hang out with.
I actually enjoyed the Riot too at the social. I thought they were pretty cool, which is why one of them is coming on this pod, hopefully, eventually.
So it's like I'm trying to build those relationships with all the clubs, so it does turn into where it's like, hey, I love Steve and George up there in Rockford, like let's kick it with those guys and hang out, or like, hey, love Marcus over at the Reapers, or Ju and Juan over at Lake County, or Ben and John over at the Riot, like, or
Right.
Robert, like, those are like our guys, like let's kick it with them, let's get a Airbnb or whatever, so it's like I'm trying to build those relationships,
Sure.
but it takes more than just one. It takes the my guys trying to. It almost feels like a high school clique. You know how like you're at the social and like you got the boys at one table, the girls at another, the jocks at one table, the computer guys at another. Like that's what it felt like when we were over there. It's like, oh, I had the forwards all at that table, the backs were at that table, So just trying to be, I guess,
more inclusive
a butterfly and talk to everybody.
Absolutely, it's important. It really is what builds the culture. As you mentioned, like Northwest Indiana, I got friends, so I'm not going to miss that game, and it makes guys want to travel more when they have friends on other teams. That's how we built the whole thing with the Gargoyles. We stayed there the first time, got an Airbnb, ended up forming a great friendship with those guys, and now they're big brother right now, but we got them next spring.
Hey, speaking of them, they're playing tough rugby right now. They're
They're number one in Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're top 5 in the Midwest right now.
I think they're undefeated.
Yeah,
they put it on Oshkosh like 100 something to 0. It was crazy, dude. They've been blowing teams out.
Hey, I heard Oshkosh was struggling though. So my brother went to Oshkosh and made a few friends with the rugby guys.
Okay,
and he said they've been hurting for numbers.
Yeah.
Like, ask my brother if he would come play with them for a game.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. Like, rugby after COVID, the numbers just... Everybody had babies during COVID, and they just quit this sport.
The millennials all have babies, and we're all moving away, and now the younger generations don't want to tackle each other, apparently.
Yeah, so we ain't got babies. Us three, we ain't got babies.
Not yet.
Well, I do. I've got one-eyed bandit here.
Oh, yeah.
Big Tilly over there.
Oh.
I've got my girls.
Hell yeah. All right, Preston, we got the big award. Just want to, get your speculation on this one, the MVP. I have my idea. It's probably going to be Ryan. I can't imagine how many MVPs that guy's already won. But yeah, who do you think it will be this year?
Yeah, Ryan's definitely the front runner. I mean, he had 12 tries in 3 games.
Holy shit, dude.
So, I mean, it's that one's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, I flat out tell our team straight up, forwards, we know what we're doing. We're grounding and pounding. We're trying to commit 3 guys per tackle and then get the ball to Ryan. Okay, the game plan is simple. Like,
simple stuff.
Like, you might think you can shut down Ryan, but it's not going to happen.
Really
He's going to get his, like, for sure.
For sure. No, absolutely. You can tackle him a couple times, but he'll get you a lot of them. Absolutely. Tony had a big game against us. Was nailing his kicks all day. We sent a couple for great touch. It's always fun to see a big ass prop making some kicks out there.
Dude, Tony won man of the match 3 weeks in a row for kicking.
Let's go!
I'm like,
we're all just so impressed. We're like,
I'm like, what the hell?
We're like, we can't believe it's a prop kicking.
Well, no, there was one game, Boris had 5 poaches. Like, absolutely was just eating out there, like causing turnovers and doing great. And I'm like, man, Boris had some hard runs. He had some great tackles, and he had 5 poaches. I'm like, Tony didn't even play a full 80. He played like 40. They're like, yeah, but his kicking. I'm like, shut up. No. I'm like, Boris deserved it for that. Come on.
That's funny. Well, yeah. Hey, Preston, any last thoughts or hopes that you would like to share about your Peoria Pigs?
I hope that we've had 2 pretty rough seasons, and they're probably the worst seasons that I've been a part of in a long time. But we do have some things in place that hopefully we're going to grow a little bit, and come spring season we come out strong. And my hopes and dreams are that in the summer, I truly believe that all great fall seasons start in the summer, because when you see a team that comes out with a solid sevens team and it's all their guys, like think about it. Last year, Lake County had a tremendous 7 seasons come out in the fall and they dominate. Okay, the Woodsmen had a great summer season. They come out this year in the fall and they're playing great rugby. So I truly believe that all great fall seasons start in the summer.
Interesting.
Agreed.
And so
You're not wrong.
I'm trying to get my guys to buy into summer stuff, do 4 tournaments, and come to Horfest as a little social kickoff into the fall season and ride out from there.
Hell yeah, love that.
So I think that's one of our, like I said, I've got like 7 steps of how we're going to become a more successful club, and that's I think number 5. So
yeah, Gargoyles as well. The Gargoyles had a solid 7s team.
Yeah, you're right. This last year they were all over and kicking some serious ass.
Well, it showed how to attack.
Previous year too.
And tackle. There's nothing like getting your ass whooped with a tackle like in 7s. If you miss a tackle in 7s, you've caused that try.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But there's nothing more beautiful than when you've got 2 props and a lock on the edge in 7s and just hit a nice little beautiful to this gorgeous ginger on the outside for a try. So
absolutely.
You just didn't want to run the whole fucking field, mate.
I was like, hey, I got George and Marcus on the outside, and it's a 3-on-1. I'm like, my ass ain't running all the way down there.
And Marcus gave up. I was like, somebody take this from me, please.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Hopefully, we can get the D3 Daddies going again this summer. We'll see. We'll try to stay in contact with Preston. Thank you for coming on, talking to us about your beloved Peoria Pigs. You're not my father, but we still like having you around. Georgie, do you have any last words you'd like to share with the public?
Fuck the Woodsman up this weekend, mate, for us.
Yeah, do it. We'll take care of business.
Like I said, we got an absolute. This is probably the best lineup we've had yet. And so, I mean, it's going to be a really good match as long as we come out and play good defense. We got you.
You've beaten us at our home field, and we should have beat the Woodsman. It was only because of a shit referee that we.
Yeah, it was other things too, but yeah, no, I agree. Well, cool. Preston, we really appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you soon. Sports by Copy and fans, continue to like and subscribe because we produce awesome shit like this. That's right. We do that.